So, this poem, I've been wanting to do this poem for a long time, but this poem wasn't coming for a long time. This poem is called Black Boy. And it's a dedication to my black brothers who are living here in Melbourne and around the world, really. But I speak to a lot of my African male brothers, and they talk about how they really don't feel free here. They're stopped by the police a lot, and sometimes the police will ask them for their ID, and then all of a sudden they use excessive force and they're on the ground. They're told to move away when there's like a pack of them, a group of them hanging out on the street. They're told to disperse. And of course, our lovely Dutton, he's like labelled South Sudanese young men as gangs. So this poem really is a dedication to black boys. And of course, black on black love is complicated. So it's about that too. It's about how I had this fantasy guy called Coco. And then I realized really I was also using black men as a blank canvas for my own projections as well. And that is wrong. So this is called Black Boy, and it's brand new. Can I hear new shit just so I feel like comfortable? Thank you. All right. This is for the black boy I made the reason to change sidewalks when I was walking home late at night. I'm sorry. I'm sorry they taught me to fear you too. This is for the little black boys pumping water in plastic guns from busted fire hydrants on 40-degree days that never made it home alive. This is for the black boys wearing silent wounds. This is for the landmines they place on your body and the landmarks you avoid to go near to. This is for the Gaza strips you fight on the street every day. This is for the bombs you have dodged and the bombs you are yet to dodge. This is for the safety they promise and the freedom they stole. This is for the oceans you're yet to cross, for the demons you're yet to bear. This is for the black boys whose skin runs away from mine. This is in the hope that you unlearn to hate black girls and to love us too. Black boys, this one is for you. Bang, bang, I shot him down. Bang, bang, he hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, I shot my lover down. Dearly beloved, we have gathered here today to say goodbye to my Mr. Perfect, who was a fantasy that my pillow dreamt about for years. He was the barometer for the rest of the brothers. He was the type of black, you don't say was pretty for a dark-skinned boy, no. His dark was just pretty. His dark was the type that night could hide in. A brother who could get away with saying shit like, I'm standing in love, babe, as an alternative to I'm falling in love. He was the type of brother who had an Afeni Shakur type mother, could have riffed with Malcolm on Franz Fanon, Du Bois and Marcus Garvey until evening climbed itself inside the golden window of dawn. A brother who waxed lyrical about the trans-Arabic slave trade before waxing lyrical about the transatlantic slave trade. A Donald Glover type brother, hyphenated. He was actor / director / musician / producer / He wore hella fly suits. Looked like they were Armani, but was sourced from the racks of op shops in Nagambi. Do people know where Nagambi is? Okay, good. who oozed the label retrofuturism. He called me queen, beloved, goddess interchangeably. His knees were an acknowledgement, were sculpted to kneel at my feet. Through his eyes, I was not just his prayer, but his place of worship. He knew the goddess Ushun by name. He used revolution and his mother in the same sentence. He cried in rom-coms. He was a type of brother. He was a type of brother. He was a type of brother who was not given hurdles to leap over, but walls, and scaled over them anyway. Was forced to be sub and superhuman simultaneously, yet defied his titles deliciously. Was forced to use his masculinity as poles to high jump over the sun. You see, his life was nothing short of athletic. Every day for him was Olympic. He was not the type of brother. He was not the type of brother who got a seat at the table, no. He was not the type of brother who got a panoramic view of the world because he was sitting on the top of it. No. He spoke multiple languages because he had to. Ducked in between flags for his survival because he had to. Dedicated his time to working with the incarcerated in prisons. He had to. Because he knew that the first step to liberate the mind is to acknowledge that you are behind bars in the first place. And he had those sukkahs hips. You know, those sukkahs shaking hips? And he didn't stop them from swaying to Solange on Beyonce because he knew it wasn't about which sister was more woke. He never used words like lit. He just was. Mostly vegan, but he didn't shove it down folks' throat. He mostly dated dark-skinned black girls, but not exclusively. He wasn't the type that went out with Beckies and light-skinned black girls just because there were Beckies and light-skinned black girls. Don't get me wrong, I know those type of brothers. No, he would challenge my black privilege but never mansplain shit. He would let me straighten his lopsided crown because he danced with the word humble intimately. He didn't mind admitting his mistakes and saying sorry frequently. He was a type of brother in this concrete jungle I was proud to call king because he was Neil Armstrong walking on the moon despite the body he carried. He loved science fiction because he knew fantasy was the father of imagining alternative realities and identities. His favorite writer was James Baldwin. He had a red wine smile, could touch in the way that made me feel like the moon was bouncing between my giggling thighs. He knew the wounds of a black girl. He knew the wounds of a black girl, how her breath would quite often lower itself beneath pavements, how he was the myth the world hung onto, but she was under everyone else's thumb. His favourite date was an evening walk in the park where the circumference of a tree's heartbeat could stretch itself inside his ribcage. When he went in for a hug, I swear I could hear even the trees mutter, damn. He was partially responsible for watering the garden blooming inside this woman's chest, a cocktail at a party with his Obama-type charm. There was a bit of Accra in the lilt of his voice, a bit of Lagos in the bent of his hair, a bit of Zimbabwe in the great divide of his torso and thighs, a bit of Harare in the boot of his foot. You see, a sister didn't have to memorize the shape of his back because he stayed more than he left. So this poem is both a commemoration and a final goodbye. Bang, bang, I shot him down. Bang, bang, he hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, I shot my lover down. Black boys, this poem is my apology. On behalf of every girl who has searched for their entirety of their homeland in you, for the whole of Africa in you, This makes us culpable accomplices in projecting onto you too. So black boys, this one is for you. Bang, bang, I shot him down. Bang, bang.